Imagine the police showing up at your own property just for sitting there, enjoying a quiet morning. That's what happened to me on my first day at my lakeside cabin, trying to savor a coffee as the sunrise turned the water to gold. I hadn't even unpacked when Laura Bennett, the HOA president, roared up in her shiny SUV, acting like she owned my dock. No greeting, just a demand to leave what I legally owned. What followed was a clash of entitlement, deception, and a fight for truth that still makes my blood boil. Ever had a neighbor try to steal your property right under your nose? It was a perfect morning, the kind that makes you feel alive. The lake was a mirror, reflecting clouds in eerie calm, and I sat on my private dock, soaking it in. Then came the screech of tires, an expensive SUV tearing through the silence. Laura stepped out, all polished nails and cold menace, her eyes daring me to challenge her. "This dock is community property," she declared, like it was fact. I set my coffee down, years as a landscape architect teaching me to keep cool with bullies. "I have documents proving I own this dock," I said evenly. "Let's review them before jumping to conclusions." Laura, claiming 15 years as HOA queen, smirked, her flawless hair unmoved by the early hour. Her gaze held a bitter edge, like someone who'd never been questioned. She threatened a formal letter to vacate within 7 days, her SUV blocking the trail to my dock like a power play. Something about her practiced tone screamed she'd done this before, bullying others into submission. My architect's instincts kicked in, measuring distances, noting boundaries. That trail she used? It looked suspiciously like my property. Inside, I spread my property documents across the table: deed, survey, title, all stamped and legal. Tracing the survey, I saw it. The trail ran entirely within my boundaries. A grin crept across my face. "Laura Bennett," I muttered, "you've messed with the wrong guy." She'd trespassed to accuse me of trespassing, irony so thick it almost choked me. I expected her letter to take days, but Laura wasn't patient. The next morning, as mist clung to the lake, a police cruiser rolled up, lights flashing, Laura's SUV trailing like she was directing a bust. "He's illegally on our dock," she ranted to Deputy Malone, a calm, no-nonsense officer. I handed over my documents, every page pristine with county seals. Malone studied them while Laura paced, probably imagining me hauled off. "These are legit," Malone said. "Mr. Carter owns this dock and the land around it." Laura's face flashed red, then pale, then a sickly green as her plan crumbled. "Testing a theory," I asked. "You used that trail to get here, right?" Malone nodded. "Everyone uses it for lake access." I pointed to the survey. "That trail's mine too." Silence hit like a brick, Laura's jaw working soundlessly. Malone's eyes narrowed. "Is there an easement for community use?" he asked her. She stammered. "We've always used it." I held up another document. "Use doesn't equal ownership. My title's clear since 1962. Malone suggested a community meeting, and I agreed, sensing Laura's confidence was about to implode. Within 2 days, Laura turned the neighborhood against me. Neighbors avoided my gaze, whispering behind curtains. The daily jogger switched routes. Even the mail carrier seemed spooked. Laura's manipulation was subtle, insidious, making me feel like an intruder without a single public accusation. For a moment, I questioned if this fight was worth it. I'd bought this place for peace, not war. But Laura's smug face when she thought she'd won steeled my resolve. At the county records office, clerk Emily Torres confirmed my suspicions. "This property's been private since 1962, she said. "No easements, no community rights." Then she dropped a bomb. Laura had been requesting property records for months, but only partial ones, skipping surveyor certifications and full boundaries. She'd been showing neighbors doctored documents to push her community property lie. "This is fraud," I said, stunned. Emily nodded. "Looks like it." Back home, I noticed Mike Evans, the community handyman, trimming hedges near the trail. He seemed nervous, glancing around before muttering, "Some of us don't get a choice." His tone hinted at resentment, like he was trapped by Laura's orders. Digging deeper, I found my property included the HOA's parking lot, maintenance shed, and mailbox cluster. Laura had no clue how much she'd underestimated me. The community meeting was a powder keg. Laura sat at the head table, her fake documents blown up on easels like courtroom evidence. She spoke with fake sincerity, painting me as a greedy outsider stealing their lakefront. "This dock is our heart," she said, voice trembling for effect. The crowd ate it up, murmuring support. I waited, my authentic documents ready, letting her build her house of lies. When she called my papers fake, I stood. "Shouldn't we verify yours first, Ms. Bennett?" Her smile wavered. Then Rachel Cohen, a sharp retiree, scrutinized Laura's displays. "These don't add up," she said, pointing out missing signatures and cropped boundaries. Others joined, the room buzzing with doubt. I laid out my documents, county-stamped, ironclad. "Notice how Ms. Bennett's version skipped the surveyor's signature and full boundaries," I said, inviting inspection. The contrast was glaring. My papers were real, hers tampered. Laura's voice cracked. "Anyone can fake documents." I nodded. "That's why I brought Emily Torres's contact info from the county. She'll verify mine. Can you do the same?" The crowd turned, questioning Laura. Then I revealed the kicker. Ms. Bennett's so focused on the dock, she missed something bigger. I spread the full survey. "This shaded area? That's your parking lot, shed, and mailbox is all mine." Chaos erupted. People rushed to windows, staring at their cars, then crowded the survey, voices rising in panic. Deputy Malone, watching quietly, nodded as he verified my papers. Laura, sweating, shouted, "He's stealing our neighborhood." But her spell was broken. Then Mike Evans stepped forward, no longer the quiet handyman. "I filed a fraud complaint against you, Laura," he said, placing his phone on the table. "I recorded you telling me to put up illegal signs on his property." The room froze as Laura's voice played, smugly dismissing legal concerns and admitting to faking records. "I've handled the technicalities," she'd said, burying herself. Laura's face went white. "That's illegal wiretapping." Mike shook his head. "I checked the law. I recorded to protect myself." Malone's radio crackled with a DA's office call, confirming charges against Laura for fraud. She was summoned within 72 hours. Rachel Cohen stood. "We need your resignation, Laura, now." The vote was unanimous, Laura's silence deafening. Days later, Laura's house went up for sale. Within weeks, she fled, her reputation ruined as her frauds spread countywide. The new HOA, led by Rachel, embraced transparency, burning old bylaws in a symbolic fire. I could have been vindictive, blocked the parking lot, charged fees. Instead, I leased the trail for $1 a year and turned part of the lot into Mike's garden, a community project blooming with trust. The county uncovered Laura's history of scamming other neighborhoods, targeting the vulnerable. Justice was sweet. The community transformed, with open meetings replacing Laura's fear-driven rule. On my dock now, watching the sunset, I marvel at how truth and patience crushed a bully. Laura thought she could intimidate me with lies and social pressure. She forgot truth doesn't need votes, it just needs someone to stand firm.